Hey guys, welcome to News Dump.
This week's episode of News Dump is chock full of people and products that are now teetering on the edge of complete destruction, as well as some interesting tidbits regarding actual movie news. And we'll get to that. But as time keeps on slipping into the future, we're able to witness and report on the continued development of various stories that we've been reporting on for this show. And although there's a few different topics to talk about, we should probably start out with the odd fan favorite, MoviePass.
Yeah.
They're still around, sort of.
We've been pretty silent on the whole MoviePass front for, 2 weeks, I guess. And that's because it seemed like they'd finally shifted towards a plan that would at the very least keep them from generating headlines and let them slowly die in private and in peace, like an intolerable grandparent sent away to live in an old folks' home. You just kind of forget about them.
Set it and forget it.
But here we are with a very public, very detrimental update to the company's health, and the prognosis, not very good.
Oh, say it ain't so.
After months of fiddling with their price tiers and finally settling on their latest Hail Mary, MoviePass Uncapped, the results are in.
According to internal data acquired by Business Insider, MoviePass only has around 225,000 active subscribers left on their platform. And if you're thinking that this number is still pretty impressive, and you're surprised that even this many people have stuck around and are still actively using it, well, here's the rub. At its peak back in June of last year, MoviePass had around 3 million paid subscribers, so this latest number shows a loss of 2,775,000, or if we're going by percentages, 92.5% of their original customer base.
It's a lot.
Gone. That is undoubtedly horrifying for the company, who's trying pretty much just anything just to maintain its existence at this point. And to be fair, we're still surprised that they're even around still. So, points for that.
Yeah.
But honestly, how much longer until this chapter in movie theater business history is finally closed?
Well, they've already lost 92%. What's the rest?
Sir, your dog is covered in tumors. He can barely walk.
He doesn't want to eat anymore.
He can't eat, he can't walk, he can't see. At this point, put him out of his
But you don't understand. People are paying me $5 a pop to see his tumors. Speaking of chapters that haven't closed yet, though, the college admissions scandal was back in the news this week with some actually satisfying developments for people like us who initially thought that the people involved, including former Machinima president Steven Sempervivo, would be getting away with this whole thing relatively untouched. And again, we're still only seeing public developments in this case because of the celebrity names attached to it, but we can only assume that the other people involved will be hopefully facing similar, if not harsher, punishment when it's all said and done. And it looks like they might. Mm-hmm. When we last spoke about it, it was looking like it would just be some small fines and probation for those involved. But turns out that this week, prosecutors for the case announced that they would be seeking prison time for Felicity Huffman, at least. Yeah.
I got a full-on justice boner. Now, in Felicity Huffman's specific case, prosecutors appear as though they're going to push for between 4 and 10 months of prison time for Huffman, although they're said to be looking at the low end of that scale, and she could still very well end up not serving time at all, because according to her plea agreement, she, quote, reserves the right to argue that her crime actually corresponds to a lower guideline of 0 to 6 months of incarceration.
So, obviously we're going to be going for the 0 months, okay?
Excuse me, Your Honor, can I speak to your manager? The New York Times article regarding these recent developments also indicates that the other parents wrapped up in this whole thing might not be as lucky, saying, quote, prosecutors are arguing for a longer sentence than the one proposed for Ms. Huffman in the cases of several of the other parents, because they are accused of paying more money as part of the scheme. So, if Huffman is potentially facing a few months for paying $15,000 to get her daughter into college, which, look, for her, pocket change, and Steven Sempervivo, our old boss, paid $400,000 to get his idiot son into college, well, looks like it might be bye-bye time for our old boss, as he could be facing more than 3 years in prison based on another parent's plea agreement where they donated around the same amount as Mr. Steven Sempervivo.
We got you a new role, Steven. You always wanted to be in the entertainment industry, and now you've become the next bye-bye man.
Now, here's where it gets weirder, though. While Huffman pled guilty and got a plea deal for her involvement in this scandal, which would, in theory, provide her with a lighter sentence, Lori Loughlin, a.k.a. Aunt Becky, she decided to just say, fuck it, and she pled not guilty. Find me guilty. Well, obviously, pleading not guilty doesn't actually mean you're not guilty, and usually, if you plead that way, and then you're still found guilty, the sentencing is almost always way, way worse.
Yeah.
Because you've wasted the court's time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not guilty. Prove me wrong. Okay. That's what we're here for. Also, you should take into consideration that pretty much every other parent wrapped up in this thing just immediately pled guilty. So it already doesn't look very good for Lachlan, considering she was involved in the exact same crime as all of these other parents.
But you see, I was on Full House.
Well, Fuller House. Well, both.
I was in 2 very full houses. So, Your Honor, find me guilty.
Yeah, she was also probably committing some of those Airbnb crimes with all the people living in that house.
You know,
the house isn't regulated for this, Aunt Becky.
Again, it's like it's never just one ant. There's hundreds of ants.
Yeah, she's also, by the way, responsible for one of the higher-end donations, with her contributions to the fake charity coming in at around $1 million, which is made up of 2 separate $500,000 donations, one for each of her daughters. So even if she had gone the same route as Huffman, she'd still be looking at a much bigger sentence, which means far more jail time than Huffman, if at all. Now, since her and her husband, Massimo...
Literally the guy that makes the clothes at Target.
So since they've pled not guilty, they're now facing 40 years in prison as a maximum charge if they're found guilty. That's 20 years each for each of the 2 charges, which were conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud.
What a fucking lame way to die in prison. But wait, there's more, because thanks to the spotlights that's been shined upon these parents, Lachlan and Massimo, even more shit is being uncovered that nobody would have even cared about until all of this went down. Now, Aunt Becky's real-life husband, Massimo Giannulli, the guy behind the Massimo clothing brand, which you can find at your local Target, he apparently faked his college career, just like the whole thing. In a recent interview right before this whole scandal broke, the couple's daughter, Olivia Jade, she spoke about her father's college career, saying, quote, "I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. Sorry, Dad, but he was like never enrolled in college. He faked his way through it. Yeah. So then he started his whole business with tuition money that his parents thought was going to college." I mean, is it a crime? It worked for a while.
Aye, sure. And we all got better clothes for it.
Did we?
Maybe. The claim was also backed up by Massimo himself, who'd done an interview with The Hundreds a few years back. Here's a quote from that write-up. "A lot of us go to college without ever going to class, but Massimo went to USC without being enrolled at all. He not only convinced his dad that he was a student by falsifying report cards, Massimo got him to fork over fees with fake tuition bills. In fact, Moss used this seed money to initiate his foray into the t-shirt biz. He said this, 'SC was expensive, so that's how I was starting my company. I used all that cash,' he declared unapologetically."
I mean, again, it worked, but how do his parents feel about this?
Well, that's the thing is, it's like he ended up building a clothing empire, whether you want to joke about it being in Target or not. And it was a
better return on investment than most people who go to USC get.
If I remember correctly, before Target bought them out, it was a relatively
in the mid-90s
high-end brand.
In the mid-90s, the Pacific Sun era, when everyone dressed like they were going to the beach, even if they were thousands of miles from the coast, Massimo was killing it.
Yeah, he was. So again, this wouldn't have even fucking mattered if it wasn't for all this shit going down, but it's just a fun cherry on top of this whole thing that
paints a picture of the people we're dealing with.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, why don't we just pay for them to get into college? I skipped everything and faked it anyway.
But like, it also comes back to like, neither of these daughters needed to go to college.
No.
They're fucking millionaires.
It was a status symbol.
Yeah. There was no reason to do this.
No reason at all. Now their mom and dad are going to be in jail forever.
Yeah.
We don't know yet, obviously, but...
Well, exciting stuff.
Hopefully they can start working on recovering their relationship now.
Yeah. Well, not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But moving on now to another topic of decline. We're sure you're all probably pretty damn aware of the fact that physical media is dying.
It's obvious.
I don't even remember what a CD looks like.
Well, funny you should say that because the Mueller report was delivered on CDs today, which was so weird because they immediately uploaded the PDF to the justice.org website. Completely unneeded.
Yeah, Mueller, he brought them in. It was in this like zip-up binder. And is that a Stussy symbol drawn on with a Sharpie?
Yeah, Mueller mixtape. But that's what's weird too is like, I think government and like anything like an old business are like the only computers that exist that even have CD-ROM drives. So it's like, well, but by the time you're ripping the data off of it or take it to put it into your computer, it's already online in the PDF. It just didn't make any sense to me. Like at the very least, put it on PDFs.
Yeah.
Or have a courier bring it.
Anyway, everything is moving towards streaming or digital downloads faster than ever. And it was even announced this week that Microsoft is introducing a new Xbox that just completely does away with that disk drive, which on its own is a pretty clear signal of the fall of physical media. But now there's a bit more data to back this whole thing up, at least related to movies, thanks to a report from the Motion Picture Association of America, or MPAA. They're the people who make things rated R. Or not. They revealed that there's been a 50% decline in global physical media sales over the last 5 years.
Yeah, which is not as bad as MoviePass.
Not as bad.
But still pretty bad.
Yeah, despite the massive loss in physical sales, consumer spending is actually up 16% compared to the numbers from 2017. And the main driver of this increase is due to digital purchases as well as subscriptions to online video services. Mm-hmm. You know them. So while physical media is not dead yet, we will likely see its eventual demise slowly play out over the next few years, as long as the goddamn internet companies allow for better speeds and higher bandwidth caps.
Yeah.
Then again, it also means that you're unlikely to ever actually own a piece of physical media in the future, which is already the case with digital copies of films and video games. And there's been many examples just over the last year of just why is this beloved film not available
anywhere?
Yeah. James Cameron's catalog was weirdly tied up in some licensing shit. He said he's working on it. It might even be fixed by now, but it was The Abyss and one of his other movies, just completely unavailable in digital form.
And the one we always talk about is the fact that you can't see Stella anywhere, the comedy show from Comedy Central. I used to own the DVDs. Obviously, I've lost them since, but it's just not available.
I know. Stella's a great show. It's a real... I get craving to watch that shit all the time, and it's a real shame that I can't, because I bought into this whole streaming future, and here I am.
Threw all the DVDs out.
Yep. I threw them out, I burned them,
and
laughed. Well, who's laughing now? Not me.
Speaking of streaming, though, Pluto TV, which is the free ad-based streaming platform that already had a pretty solid lineup of shows and a guide that's reminiscent of the type of shit that you'd see on cable or satellite TV, it was acquired by Viacom a few weeks back for around $340 million. And so far, it looks like they haven't ruined what made Pluto great in the first place. Instead, it appears as though they're just going to keep offering the same slate of channels that was previously available, while both using their powers as a gigantic company to strike more deals with content providers, as well as adding Viacom-owned and operated channels or episodes of their shows to the lineup, which is good.
Could be.
Yeah.
According to the news outlet Digiday, Digimon blog.
No.
Probably not. They said Viacom will debut up to 15 channels on Pluto TV that will be tied to its linear TV networks, such as one that will air old episodes of MTV's The Hills, and channels from other Viacom-owned networks such as Comedy Central, BET, and Nickelodeon that will similarly feature full episodes from Viacom's library of past shows.
But I highly doubt Stella's going to be on there. That would be cool, though. Pluto saves Stella.
That would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looks like for the near future, the platform, Pluto TV, will remain free and continue to grow, which is great news for now, because it's honestly a great option for people who don't care about live sports and live news or watching a couple ads. As hinted to above, Pluto mainly relies on creating channels around specific shows or genres, and they provide what amounts to 24/7 live streams of those types of content while running ad breaks similar to what you would see on, YouTube videos, including this one, right? Right
now.
We got 2 fucking demonetizations in the last week.
So if we're not demonetizing this,
damn it.
maybe you just saw an ad. I'm going to put it right there to test it and people can let me know. But yeah, it's actually great because it solves the problem of passively wanting to watch something, because you can just put it on and it just plays forever with ad breaks like you would see on YouTube, and as opposed to something like Hulu or whatever where it'll ask if you want to keep watching, or maybe on other things where you have to go from show to show and switch every time. You just throw it on, watch Forensic Files for 4 or 5 days straight.
Sit down on the couch, Pluto keep playing even if you're dead.
Yeah, then you're a forensic file and you'll be featured.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, did an ad play right there when we mentioned it? We have no idea. It's a crapshoot over here. But if it did, thanks for watching it. And thanks for whitelisting and all that. But here's a few more entertainment and movie news tidbits before we wrap up the episode. In the wake of Star Wars Celebration, while all the big-brained movie buffs are out there scrambling to build up Rise of Skywalker in their heads, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy did an interview with Entertainment Weekly regarding the future of the franchise, and has confirmed that although there are reports that the whole Star Wars movie machine would be slowing down just a little bit, the company's still developing movies for at least the next decade. And obviously, if they're doing that, further off into the future as well.
So according to this interview, Last Jedi director Rian Johnson, your favorite Star Wars director, he's working alongside Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss to develop the next trilogy of films. She added that, quote, as they finish Game of Thrones, they're going to seg into Star Wars, and that they're working very closely with Rian. So obviously, we should expect a whole lot more nudity, gore, and, of course, who can forget, incest. Star Wars fans have been edging on incest for 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
Let Luke and Leia fuck.
Yes. The kiss wasn't enough. No.
Not nearly. It just got me a little bit hard. I want full completion.
Yeah.
Come on, David and David.
Yeah, you were saying yesterday there you had like a very light theory about the rise of fake incest porn on Pornhub. Like
it coincides.
Stepbrother and stepsister and stepmom and blah, blah, blah. And you're saying what?
It coincides almost exactly with when Game of Thrones started getting popular.
Yeah, so might be something to that.
I know all you people watching Game of Thrones at home, I see where your hands are.
Yeah.
On your genitals.
Did you see fans in China were like begging the government not to censor Game of Thrones this season?
Yeah. Well, they're not going to do it.
No.
Anyways, let's use the loose connection to Game of Thrones, thanks to actress Maisie Williams, to seg into the news that you've probably already forgotten about the Marvel horror thriller film, The New Mutants. And that's not your fault.
Yeah.
This movie's been tossed around so much over the past few months. Years. It's been done for a while. It's been in the can for a long time. They've showed a trailer for it like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It would not surprise anyone if they just, canned the whole thing. Got rid of it, despite it already being filmed and almost completely finished, except for what appears to be a lot of reshoots.
Which the actors involved are very upset about.
And they're like, I've aged.
Yeah, it's been years.
I was a teen.
Yeah.
When you shoot a movie with teens, you get it done as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they grow. It's one of those problems you have with productions if you take too much time.
Anyway, New Mutants was originally supposed to be released just over a year ago, back in 2018, but it was then moved to February of 2019, which, that already happened. So,
February 19th came and went.
Where's my New Mutants?
Well, then the latest news is that according to industry sources, an announcement of a new release date was supposed to be confirmed once the Fox-Disney merger was finalized. So far, doesn't really look like it's a big deal for them. No indication of a new date, with the source not even being able to confirm whether or not the film will be released in 2019 at all, and only added that, quote, the new release date will be far away from August. So that could be anything. And they also added that nothing else is known at this point. So,
well, I mean, the verdict is clear. People miss the old mutants.
Yeah. Why do we need new mutants?
I miss the old mutants.
Yeah.
We can, however, confirm a release date for a movie we know all of you are very, very excited for. The Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
Bink, 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 bink. Look at me mining. And we know you're thinking to yourselves, even if they release it tomorrow, it'd be years too late.
Yeah.
But apparently you're wrong. And Minecraft as a brand has a much longer shelf life than any of us could have imagined. It outlived its own creator.
Yeah.
He's
not dead.
Nah, he's dead to me.
He's just a hermit.
He's dead to me.
Yeah.
According to the official Minecraft website, the Minecraft movie, which is being produced by Warner Brothers, will drop on March 4th, 2022. Jesus fucking Christ.
I know, right?
That essentially means that anyone who's excited to see it will most likely have been born years after the actual game was released. Also, anyone who's excited to see it right now probably won't continue to be excited. Like, yeah, I was fucking 12. I'm in college now.
Yeah.
But, what's this Minecraft movie going to be about, huh? Well, you're most certainly not asking about that if you're watching this.
Yeah.
But here you go anyway. It's the story of a teenage girl and her unlikely group of adventurers. After the malevolent Ender Dragon sets out on a path of destruction, they must save their beautiful, blocky overworld.
Rated R.
Rated R for incest.
Yeah. Steve fucks the dragon. Turns out, dragon's related to him.
Yeah.
Big surprise. Well, anyways, with that out of the way, here's what we can't show you from trailers this week. There was a new trailer and doll reveal, again, for the upcoming Chucky reboot. And they went ahead and made this doll sexy enough that we're sure tons of people on Twitter are already calling him Daddy.
Stop it.
Which is a much scarier thought than the movie could ever be.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's happened. They gave him a slick haircut. He's looking too good to be a serial killing doll. There's a new Hobbs and Shaw trailer that we're both avoiding because we're totally in for this movie, and seeing anything outside the teaser trailer would be ruining any fun surprises. Also, there's a whole lot of Avengers Endgame teasers and TV spots that were released, which, again, don't watch them.
Yeah. Who's still on the fence about this?
I don't know. Maybe it's going to take another TV spot to get me to go see Endgame. What do you mean tickets are sold out? We've already had to avoid people giving away leaked spoilers and avoid the movie press, who apparently have already seen it or are seeing it in the coming days. Now we have to avoid TV and other films because of all the marketing for this.
Stop it. I'm already going to see it.
It's time to stop.
Although it sounds like I'm going to have to see it like 4 days later at like 10 in the morning.
It's going to be ruined.
But yeah, well. Oh, and people are trolling by posting leaked spoilers everywhere, so try your best to avoid them. I muted a couple people. If you start accidentally reading something that even seems Avengers-related, just stop in your tracks and look away. Just say no. You might not even want to look down in the comments, because there's probably some dick posting them down there too, and we're not cops.
Yeah, we try to delete stuff if it pops up like this. It happened with a couple of the other movies, but it's a daunting task, and we have to sleep sometimes and do other things.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's it for News Dump this week. We hope you learned a whole lot as usual. Be sure to stay tuned for a brand new Weekly Weird News tomorrow, but in the meantime, if you want to help contribute to the success of this channel, head over to our Patreon, links in the description, or click the join button below the video, or just do us a solid. Tell your friends to subscribe to the channel so we can continue to grow. Tell them to tell their friends, and so on and so forth. Before you know it, we'll be at 200,000.
Wow.
Well, I mean, we can dream. Also, be sure to check out our other videos from this week right over here. Some great videos for you to waste your time. It's not a waste of time. To spend your time on.
Enrich your time.
Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Especially bye-bye to Steve and Semper Viva.